is the scene. It's all about great Australian and West Australian music, and we cannot do it without our mates at Atomic and Sound Centre Morley as well. My name is Blake Williams. Hello. Now, if you live in WA or in Perth for that matter, put this date into your diary. Sunday, October 24. It is our end of season concert. 3 bands on the stage behind me. $20. There's a food truck. There's a bar. You cannot go wrong. It's the best Sunday session you'll have all year. Put it in your diary. But that's October. Tonight is all about one band, and that is Ashes of Autumn in the studio. Let's go crazy for Ashes of Autumn live on the scene.
Time is needed to heal the wounds. We've fallen so fast, not too soon. Up and down, now back again for one last time. I still have my pride. We're just passing time. It's over, come over, nothing's left to lose. Hey, I know what you're thinking. It's over, come over, nothing's left to breaking all down, not one thing changes. No, I'm done with rearranging the pages. They say time is needed to heal the wounds. We've fallen so fast, not too soon. Up and down, now back again for one last time. Hey, I know what you're thinking. It's over, come over, nothing's left to lose. Hey, I know what you're thinking. It's over, come over, nothing's left to lose. Why do you look at me the way you used to? I try to break the habit, you gotta believe me, I try. Who found ourselves back here now, baby? It's over, come over, nothing's left to lose. Nothing left. It's over.
is the sea.
Welcome back to the scene right around Australia on the Foxtel and on demand right here on YouTube. It's all about great Australian and West Australian music. How good in the studio, everybody, with Ashes of Autumn. One more round of applause, I believe. And welcome to the show, everybody. And can I say, this is the very first time we've pulled out the couch. This couch is from our director, Matt's living room. How is it? It's all right?
Yeah, it's comfy.
You're the very first
comfy,
guest.
so soft.
So soft.
We're going to take it
smells
home
on you a
after
little
the
bit.
Yeah, I kind of got that as well.
You're not getting this back.
It's our brand new thing. You're the first people to use it. We're so glad you are. Let's go back a little bit because the band started 2019, which isn't that long ago in band lives. How did it all begin?
Not that long ago, but that was pre-COVID, which
It
seems
was
like a long time
It was
ago.
like a lifetime ago.
So yeah, basically, one band folded and lost a few members, and myself and the drummer basically put an ad out, said, "Do you know any singers?" And our friend Rob from local Legends Electric State,
Whoop whoop!
so he said, "Oh, you should talk to Mel." And we hadn't met Mel, and basically got a little demo through, and we went, "Ooh, hang on, she can really sing.
Right.
What's she going to do with us?" But yeah, auditioned Mel, and she was keen, and then we brought on Bryn, and then Jez a little
And then
bit.
Bryn brought on me.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was
right.
6 degrees.
It was just dominoes.
From
But,
there,
everybody
he
has-
auditioned via COVID though. Like he auditioned online,
Yeah,
which
Zoom.
was weird.
Yeah.
Beautiful things.
I was going to ask that question because you auditioned as well, right?
Yeah.
How was that? Did you have to, send through your favourite song audition or what?
What? So the guys, they gave me their demos, like 4 demos, and they basically said, just do whatever you want with them. I'm not sure that was a good thing or not, but it was more of like a real punk vibe, and it kind of threw me a wee bit. So I kind of, I don't know, I listened to the songs and just made them my own. The other singer was a male singer, so trying to make it like in my register and stuff. And then I sent through a little snippet to Matt, and he was like, "Yeah, that's fine. Come down to rehearsal." And I'm like,
Holding a few cards back, you
So,
said.
yeah.
I wasn't giving
you
much away.
can't play all the
so
cards.
I'm like, "Oh Lord!" So I go down for the audition, and I'm a very nervous person, so I go in there and I'm just like almost feeling very sick. They were very kind, very nice people. So, so I did that, and then Matt's like, all right. I'm
We'll
like-
let you know.
He goes, "Yeah, we'll give you a call." And I'm like,
Very Simon Cowell.
"All right, what's a girl gonna do?"
What do
Like,
I have to do to get a gig in this town?
right? So they called me like I think like the next day, maybe 2 days. He might have made me sweat a wee bit, but and they were like,
Every
"Okay."
technique.
Right? It's like, "Yeah, okay, come on in." I'm like, "Okay, thanks."
And then officially in the band.
Yeah.
And you, Jez, you had to do it online, right? Because it was COVID time, I guess,
Yep,
right?
big
lockdown.
conference Zoom call.
So, and that was
awkward.
everybody zooming into the same meeting and you kind of like having
Yeah, me
everybody
standing
auditioning.
in my office just going, the backdrop's a bit lame. We could have done
Very
done a
corporate
better
audition
room.
for a rock band.
Yeah, it was an experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And so were there songs already written or then did you start writing tunes?
We came in with ideas and developed ideas as a band, but we had a starting point, so we never sort of resorted to, I'll learn this cover song just so we have something to play. We actually had songs, and we set ourselves a deadline. It's like, we're booking our first gig even though we don't have enough songs.
Great.
Let's
Yeah.
write,
Yeah.
and let's see what happens.
And when was that?
Our first gig,
That was January.
yeah,
last year?
January 17th, I think.
that's very
2020.
specific.
Yeah.
Very specific.
Yeah.
Someone
Burning
checked
my
that.
brain.
Yeah,
Yeah, about 9:15. Yeah.
I think it was January 17th. It might have been 15.
So January 2020, then the world fell apart, 8 weeks later.
Yeah.
And what did you do at that point? Did you go, well, this is a good time to write because we can't do anything, we can't play, we can't tour. Did you use that time or did you have a
Well, you couldn't
freak
even go
out like
into a
everybody
rehearsal
else?
studio for the first
Yeah.
bit. You weren't allowed to basically go to the house. So we developed ideas, shared ideas, just listen to music. We actually had a conversation at one stage. It's like, what bands do you dig? Like, send that through. And what bands do you dig? Send that through. And we had a listen and just sort of go, oh yeah. no,
They
that
did
could work,
listen
that
to
could
any
work.
of the bands that I did.
Actually, I was going to ask, what bands do you dig? Let's start with you, Mel.
You know what? Like I grew up with my dad was a musician, so I grew up with really old rock, like Uriah Heep and Rainbow and Led Zeppelin and that sort of vibe. And yeah, woo, woo.
Led Zepp got a whoop.
Right. But also on the other side of the spectrum, like my dad and dad was into country a lot. So he used to sort of sit there with acoustic guitars and sing along, and I'd like try to learn harmonies and stuff. So that was country and then real hard case rock.
Okay.
And then as I grew up, it was the usual like Metallica and Guns N' Roses and
The classics.
But for me, like in my late teens, I guess, I was really drawn to female singers, and Skunk Anansie and Alanis Morissette kind of came on, I think, around when I was like 15 or 14 or something. And so that was just like, I want to do that. That's what I want to do,
I think Jagged Little Pill was an album that inspired a lot of people around the world, right?
Yeah, and it really just like hit a nerve for me, like being a young girl and just looking at her. And she was very young at the time, I think, when that was released, like what, 21, 22, I think, when she released that.
Yeah, early 20s.
So I was like, oh, she's not that much older than me. Like, I can do this. Like, I can go sing in a band. Like, that'd be awesome.
It's amazing. It's brilliant that role models like that exist in the music industry as well. Let's go around the band.
Yeah.
Favorite bands? Let's start over here.
Was Metallica, but I predominantly listen to blues.
Okay.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
So
Guitar-based kind of stuff.
Yeah, guitar-based blues. So your power blues, like your Gary Moores and guys like that. A couple of the newer guys. Joe Bonamassa's got some cool stuff.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Go Joe.
It's certainly that side of the crowd is loving what you're saying.
Yeah.
This side of the crowd, not really having a bar of it.
Grew up on cheesy 80s.
No.
Like my very first album I bought at 6 years old was a Bali knockoff. We went there as a family, and I bought Europe: The Final Countdown, which was awesome. And I wore
Why did Europe get the biggest applause?
I wore that cassette out, which probably makes no sense to most kids watching at home. What the hell's a cassette? But then also bought Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, and that gave me nightmares, but I loved it. I was hooked on like sort of rock, harder rock music since then. Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's continue. Favourite bands? Or inspirational
I'm
bands?
pretty eclectic. Like, I've probably focused a lot on like bands that are pretty known for their bass players in the beginning. So bands like Faith No More and Chili Willy, stuff that where like it's obviously a big part of the music, probably inspired me. But I'm like, I go through different tastes like every month. Like I've got one style of music and then just a completely different style. So I go through like an REM phase and then an Elvis phase or something, and it's like completely different ends of the spectrum. So
brilliant, absolutely. And Brent?
Yeah, I like a lot of the 60s stuff, so Bob Dylan and The Doors and that sort of stuff. And went to AC/DC is the reason I picked up the guitar and started.
Yeah, right. Of course, AC/DC is going to get an applause. And all of that kind of converging to the sound that you guys create. Talking about the sound that you do create, it's a very live vibe. When you go to the studio, you can be tempted to lay everything down, quantize everything, spend so long layering things that you can't then recreate live. Do you pull it back? Do you try and keep it pretty natural in the studio?
Yeah, I think for us, like, sorry, did I just jump in?
No, go
I think
it's hands up first.
I think for us, like, we're a really organic band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think to try and capture that in the studio is really important to us because we don't use those tricks live. We don't use any sort of, pre-recorded things and effects and whatnot. It's like what you see is what you get. And so we really want to capture that in the studio and kind of minimise those heavily, like, dominating effects and stuff like that. Having said that, that doesn't mean we might not do that in time, but right now I think we're really enjoying captivating this sound for us and working with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it certainly comes off as well. What's the Perth scene like in this kind of hard-edged rock vibe? Is it, because I feel like it's fairly strong. We have great nominees for the WAM Awards, as you guys were as well.
Yeah.
Is it a good scene in Perth? Is it a healthy scene?
It is. It's like Perth Rocks is a festival that comes around. Well, it's only just started, and COVID put a bullet in it last year, but it's done a second one this year, and that was a sellout. That was at Badlands, and it was as a musician in the local scene, you see a lot of the same faces come to gigs. Perth Rocks was awesome because they weren't familiar faces. They were people that don't usually come.
Okay.
And just having there was 15 bands or something.
That was like a whole day thing, a whole weekend thing?
Yeah, it's a whole
Okay.
whole day thing. They had 2 stages, and
Yeah.
it works. I mean, there's so much competition for entertainment at the moment,
Yeah.
and so, but people like to be entertained, so no, it's got a strong following.
Would you go anywhere else? Like, where would be the mecca for hard rock? Would it be somewhere in Australia? Would it be overseas if we could go anywhere?
Probably
think-
America and Europe.
Yeah.
I'd say,
Yeah, America and Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, love to go to America.
Yeah, that would be
One day.
my go-to.
And that would be the plan once this is all over, to put some stuff together and try and tour it overseas?
I'd love to go to the US.
Yeah.
I think we've got to be realistic. It's almost like a paid holiday. Well, not a paid, an unpaid holiday. A holiday
An
you pay for
unpaid
yourself.
holiday.
Yeah, an unpaid
Just lots of fun,
Yeah, no, but we would
Working
love
vacation.
right?
Yeah.
because there is the following there. Like Europe, especially sort of Central Eastern Europe, they've got a big rock following. So
And the great part about going to somewhere like that is that you can tour so many places, really compact geographical locations,
Yeah.
which is, what a lot of Perth bands, pre-COVID obviously, would do. I was looking at some facts though, Ashes of Autumn facts on Wikipedia, and I don't know if you know if this site exists. There's a
You're
page.
scaring me, man.
I know. You guys
not
may
us.
have started this. Yeah. But there's a section on your shoes, Mel.
Oh.
So on your Doc Martens.
Yes.
I believe you have quite a few pairs.
I do.
In fact, we're going to open this up to the audience.
And
Does
you'll be
anyone?
quiet.
Let's have a guess. We've got a wireless mic here. Anyone have an idea how many pairs of Doc Martens Mel owns? Put your hand up.
23.
I'm going to run around for a sec. What have we got? Oh, you know. Well, then I'll come back to you. Who said over here?
5 and they're vegan shoes.
They're vegans. That's
These
not
ones
correct.
are.
That's not correct. 5 is not
I only
correct.
have one vegan pair.
Okay.
This one's.
And you've only bought them. Who else has got a guess? How many pairs in total do you reckon she's got? Okay, back over here.
I did a count, so I know exactly how many I've
A
got now.
box full.
A box.
Oh, too many to count.
How many? Too many to count. I can't pay that answer. I can't give me a number.
15.
Is 15 close?
It's pretty close.
It's what's the actual answer?
It's 17 and a half.
Where does the half come from?
So I lost the left. Like I lost the left. I don't know how I lost it.
17 and a half. I reckon we can pay that. Lisa from the bar. Our sponsor is Atomic Beer. Let's bring you over a beer, my friend. You've
no.
you've earned yourself a beer.
He's like 17.
He's 17.
That's my son.
You could have scored yourself a free beer, and she just ruined it for you. Let's bring it
Somebody else
over.
can have it.
Give it to the band.
Somebody can whoop whoop.
It's already
we
open,
can give it
though.
to
Maybe
Bill
I'll-
at the
can
back
I
with his
take
hand
it?
up there.
Oh, then we give it.
Bill
You know what?
deserves
Let's
it.
give it to the drummer who's not in the interview. Let's give it to Bill. Bill's got the beer. Bill's down the back. They're going to get back up and do one more song for us in just a moment. Ashes of Autumn. If you want to find you online, what's the best place to find you?
Facebook and Instagram. I think both handles are Ashes of Autumn Band.
Man, you're looking so chill right now.
It's a coffee couch, bro.
It's just a normal Monday night for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of on an interview on TV, but I don't really care about it. It's very chill. All the details, you'll find it on the Scene Facebook page. The track you're about to do, what's it called?
It's called The Time.
And this hasn't been released yet,
No,
right?
Secret Squirrel.
Ooh, this is
So-
the debut.
Yeah, this is going to be our next release.
Okay, brilliant. In the studio, let's give it up for Ashes of Autumn, everybody. A great sound. We love what they do. We're going to take a very short break right here on Foxtel. Right around Australia, back in just a moment. Ashes of Autumn live on the Scene. Catch you in a few moments.
This is the scene.
I don't want to see you just say real. I don't know if I should take that from you. I feel naked now, somewhat critical. Who knows what you're doing? It all goes down. Take a look inside under the hood of truth. Can you see that's waiting for you? And now I'm waiting here, silence waking up. It's been coming on to wonder. Now it's coming. The time is coming now. Do you ever feel a million eyes on you? Are you paranoid and delusional? Kind of wondering, don't know where to hide. Is It's impossible to unfold the truth. Laughing in your sweat, a panic rushes through. I'm getting my reflex. How can this be true? Now it's coming, the time is coming now. Wake up, wake up, wake up, a new day's coming. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, a new day's coming. Wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, a new day's coming. Wake up, yeah. Wake up, wake up, wake up, a new day's coming. Wake up. I don't wanna see things you say are real. I don't know if I should take that from you. I connect you now, so I'm critical. Who knows what you're doing? It all goes down.
Ashes of Autumn, everybody, on the scene. Amazing, amazing. Loved it. How good were they? Of course, you can find them online. Ashes of Autumn. The Scene Music TV. We're back next week with Perth legends, The Deli, live right here on The Scene. Catch you then. Have a good week.